And welcome back to All Sports West New York. It's your old buddy, Bob Kuczynski, with my good friend Danny Gare, one of the all-time greats for the Buffalo Sabres. And Danny, you know, hockey is not America's pastime. But suddenly, after this past weekend with the Americans with that exciting shootout win over Russia, everybody's talking hockey.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing to see, you know, when you're on that stage and an Olympic stage and you get the opportunity to play against the Russians, much like the Miracle on Ice in the 80s that we all saw. But I really thought it was a terrific game. I thought the back and forth play, the intensity of the game, you can see great hits, you can see great saves, you know. And then it went to a shootout, and then you see T.J. Oshie, who was really picked for that role, do what he did, and he gets tweeted by the president. I mean, he's like so many social media fans now, but he scored 4 of the 6 goals, Bob, which is awesome.
Well, what's your
and that's
opinion
what you're
on
there.
that, having the ability in the Olympics, because you can't do this in the NHL, but being able to pick, after those first 3 shooters, picking one guy to basically carry the water?
Well, they've done this for years, and it goes back to the European World Championships. The Olympics have done it. I don't have a problem with it. The problem you hear a lot of people, I'd much rather have maybe the 1, 2, 3, the changeover. But it really comes down to a player on A team and a player on B team against goalies, and it's really not a team game then.
Right.
But this is how it's set up, and that's the way you have to go with it. And give this kid a lot of credit. I mean. He looked calm and cool, but he was picked for that role. He was one of the last 3 guys on the USA team that was picked for that because of his expertise in shootouts. 7 for 10 this year in the NHL, so good for him.
All right, so the Americans, now we're taping this show Tuesday afternoon. The Americans are waiting to see who they're going to play.
Right.
But right now,
it could be the Czechs or the Slovaks, and I believe it's a real close game. It's like 4-3. And then Canada has an opportunity to play Latvia. They were up 2-1. Latvia is the team that Ted Nolan's coaching, and Lindy Ruff's the assistant coach. So there's a little play there. Russia will play Finland, I believe, and Sweden versus Slovenia, who upset Austria today.
Ted Nolan at the Olympics, coaching Latvia. I mean,
good for him.
Really, you know, he's somebody who's certainly paid his dues.
Yeah.
To show up at the Olympics, coach, he says he knows the language a little bit at least. I think he knows some slang and some swear words.
Well, I got a chance to see him just before they left to go to the Olympics. I ran into him in the dressing room down at the arena and talked a little bit about his opportunity to go there. He thought that, you know, he had, well, obviously young Gergensons, who's been outstanding for the Sabres, has got, you know, a great career ahead of him. He had some people that played in the KHL. He said his goaltender was good. You go in there, you know, it's a bigger ice surface, it's a different type of game, and what he really wanted to do was make sure his team was prepared, which most teams that Teddy coaches is prepared. He's a good motivator. If you're ready to be motivated, if you have those type of players, Teddy finds a way to, that innate ability to get you playing your best. So it'll be interesting to see how it all falls out.
Well, they just told me in my ear Latvia won, so we'll be Latvia and Canada.
Latvia, Canada.
Wow, that'll be of interest locally. Huh?
Good stuff.
Okay, so the Olympics, you know, the focus for this week is going to be on hockey. The focus is going to be on, obviously, in this country, the United States. But Canada, let's not forget, Canada's the defending gold medalist. Yep. We haven't talked much about Canada, but they've got a heck of a team assembled.
Well, Bob, I was at the Olympics in Vancouver in my home province 4 years ago. I was sitting with Wayne Gretzky, Paul Coffey, and my brother was over here, up in the high ends of the press box. And when J.P. Parisi scored the goal to tie it up with minutes to go or seconds to go in the game to tie it up, you could have put a pin in that place. It was so quiet, like all the air fell out of it. And then Crosby comes out in a quick shift early and scores in a kind of an innocent play and beats Ryan Miller. Unfortunately, who was the MVP, who was fabulous. But the place went crazy. It was unbelievable, and Canada still has that on their backs. And their big guys, their big guns have not been good so far in this tournament. So they have to, like guys like Crosby and so forth, have to pick it up a notch.
Well, in Vancouver, they weren't too good that first round either. It was in the medal round.
Players seem to find their way along the way, yeah.
Hey, we're going to take a break. More with Danny Gare. We'll be talking about the Sabres right after this.